Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'm just going to be starting with a new video series wherein I pick out each sections of AutoCAD and focus on the things that are essential and sort of like weed out the things that are not necessarily important for you, because AutoCAD is a really complex software. A lot of stuff is things that you just don't have to bother. So, especially if you're into like design and architecture, there's a lot of things like even 3D tools, and it has other capabilities that you may not want to do, especially if you're just using it for 2D drawing. I'm using AutoCAD 2022. Depending on the version, you may find this homepage to be different, but it's going to mostly have the same stuff. That is, you'll have a recent section wherein you have all your recent files that you have opened and worked on. It's going to also have this option where you can open a file on your desktop by clicking here, and it's going to load a browser, or you can just create a new file, and we are just going to create a new file from scratch. Now, next to new, there's this drop down option, and it will allow you to choose any templates here. If you're working in an office environment, they might have like their custom template, so you can just load it over here. But we won't be doing that now, so let's just click over here to under new. Now this is what my version looks like, 2022. Yours could look a little different, but it's basically functionally it will behave the same way. If you come to the top left corner, you will see this icon here colored red, and it's pretty large. If you click on this drop down, you'll see it has a lot of options to save and load new files and to export and even print. And next to it, once again, we have the recent documents. Anything that you have opened recently is going to show up here. If you come out of that, next to it, this is called the access toolbar. So it has more of the same commands that you found here, like save and open existing files and to print. It's just like something that you can access easily. If you want to save the file, you can just come and click on this floppy disk icon, and it's going to save your file. Now below that you have the ribbon menu. This is where you will find most of your commands and functions in AutoCAD. You can just come over here and click on it, and you can proceed to completing your drawing. Now the ribbon pad is made up of all of these tabs, which are, for example, home, insert, annotate, parametric. You'll be using home a lot. A lot of the commands, the basic stuff is there in home. Insert, you can use it occasionally. Annotate also has very varied uses, like adding text and dimensions. The other stuff is honestly not that important for you unless you actually have a need for it. Just know that most of the things that you need are probably going to be found in the Home tab. Now, under the Home tab, you have various sections, so you can call them panels. So the first one is a draw panel where you can draw various shapes, and next are modify, are like commands that you can make changes to the shapes that you draw, and so on. Like each section has its own use. Next you have annotation. You can access this if you want to draw dimensions, and then layers are on the one after that, and so on. Then below that, what you have, you usually see a dark blank space, and that's your model space. You'll be drawing in this area. If you come here to the top right corner, just below the ribbon menu, you'll find this gizmo. Now it has it has the directions north, south, east, west, and it has a box in the middle. If you click on this corner, if you notice, your 2D workspace sort of goes into like this 3D mode. We won't be needing to draw anything in 3D in this series, so we won't be using this, but this is just something like you should know. If ever you find yourself in this position, just know that you can just click on the parts of this box, and it's going to orient yourself back into a 2D workspace with the north pointed up. If you ever find a situation where the north is not pointed up, you can just use these corner arrows and just orient yourself back into this configuration. If you come to the bottom part of this interface, you'll see on the right side, you'll see this panel. This is the status bar. So here you'll find a lot of options that you can toggle on and off. Things that you will need like auto mode and like snaps can be found here. But for now, if you can see the model space, you can see like there's a grid in the background. You can enable or disable it by clicking on this first option. So let's just keep this on for now. Or actually we can just get rid of it. We don't really need it. And on the other side, you'll find that we are in a model space in the list of tabs. You can also go into like a layout space. That's something later that we will learn for printing. And in the center, you have this big word box, and this is where some of your commands and prompts are going to show up over here. So we're going to learn how to just navigate this model space. First is on your mouse. If you just scroll the center wheel, you can zoom in and out of the drawing. And if you click and hold that center mouse scroll wheel, the crosshair will turn into like this fist, and it allows you to pan your drawing, so you can like move around your drawing without having to zoom in. Next, we're going to learn about selections. So you might have noticed that if you click your left button and if you just drag it, you get like this weird shape. You can call it a smart selection, or you can call it a lasso tool. It just allows you to make a selection in this weird form, and honestly it's not very useful. I've never had to select anything in such a way and felt the need for this command. So we'll learn how to disable it, because it might honestly just be a hindrance to your workflow. So how we can do that is by pressing O and P on your keyboard, which will prompt the command options, and press enter. There's a lot of things you can change and tweak in this dialog box. Let's start here with files, and a lot of your files and blocks and templates, you can find where they are located on your desktop using the tab here. I urge you to not change or alter anything that you aren't sure of. So let's just ignore this. Then we'll have display. And if you see, this Autodesk interface is like in a really dark theme. So you can just change that to light and press apply. And just the whole software is like turned into like shades of gray and white. But I think I'll prefer the dark theme. So let's just press apply again. Yeah. Is there anything else here that you want to change? No, I don't think so. Then open and save. My file saved by default on 2007. So I'll just keep it that way. Nothing else here either. And under plot and publish, no, nothing. System, that's fine. User preferences, that's okay. Drafting is also fine. 3D modeling, we are not going to be using it now. And under selection, over here, allow press and drag for lasso. So it's enabled, so we're just going to click on it and disable it and press apply. So that will solve our problems. And yeah, there's nothing here either. So let's just press OK. And now if we do the same thing, we are not enabling that lasso selection. Instead, what we are getting is this rectangle region. And if you haven't already noticed, if you click anywhere in the model space and drag it to your right, you get a blue region. Whereas if you click anywhere and drag it to your left, you get this green region. I'll explain soon what's the difference between those two selections. Before we start with the drawing, we want to make sure that we are drawing in the right units. So for that, we are going to press on our keyboard U and N, and you'll see that it's going to prompt a list of commands, and units is at the top of it. So we are just going to press enter. And it's going to give us this short dialog box Basically, it's going to ask us to select the units that we want to work in. We just want to make sure this length type is under decimal, and precision, I prefer keeping it at 0. You can keep it as different other decimal points is also fine, but because I'm working in millimeters, I prefer this to be 0. Over here, angle type, I'll keep it decimal degrees. Under precision, I also prefer keeping it at 0. A lot of people prefer keeping it at 0.0. They just want the comfort of the other decimal point, but I'm happy with this. And under insertion scale, I'm going to switch it from inches to millimeters. And yeah, that's that. I don't have any other changes I want to make, so I'll just press on OK. So now what that does is ensure that whatever we draw is going to be in millimeters.